And let's see what Jim has to say. This is always good.
My name is Jim Howell. I'm the Strategic Planning Director for AORTA, Association of Oregon Rail and Transit Advocates. I also used to work at Trimet back in the late 40s and 70s and 80s. And about 5 months ago, last time I testified in front of you, I asked you about what your long-range ridership goals were going to be. Haven't heard anything about that lately. If you haven't, I'll have a suggestion. For a 20-year goal, that you double your ridership, both on MAX and buses.
But you need capacity.
Now, if you would do that, we wouldn't be talking about widening freeways around Portland, because Trimet would be doing its job. Now, I appreciate the fact that you're beginning to reinvest in the bus system, and you heard some good suggestions already this morning on how to do that.
What a great
But I want to focus on your rapid transit system, which is called MAX.
Oh,
and it has, at this point, about maxed out.
Yep.
It no longer can add any more service.
That's right. He's calling it like it is.
Of the bottleneck downtown. And in fact, today, coming here, I waited at the Rose Quarter for about 3 or 4 minutes until the switches cleared, because there were trains crossing. Every train in the Trimet system, on every trip, has to cross an ancient lift-span bridge. And at each end of that bridge, there's interlockings, which basically prevent trains from running into each other when they're either passing or at those locations. And there's a limited number of trains that can pass those interlockings, and during your peak hour, you've reached that limit. And so the system cannot grow, and it has to grow over the next 20 years. And there's only one way to do it, and that is you have to have a new river crossing, and you have to have a much faster way to get through downtown and past downtown, because you're not getting the regional trips on that light rail system today because of the long trek through downtown, over 20 minutes in each direction, north and south and east and west, just to get through downtown. So you're going to have to start seriously looking at a subway. And I know every time it's mentioned, everyone goes, oh, we can't do that. That's too expensive. Well, is it? The simple fact is you never ever looked at it seriously enough to know if it is. I propose that a subway from the Rose Quarter to Goose Hollow, with a station downtown and 2 on the east side, plus an east side connection, you would spend less money than you will on the Southwest Corridor project. And it certainly would have a far greater effect on ridership. I don't think you should be adding more lines to a system that cannot function at its center. And there's no planning, absolutely no planning by Metro or Trimet for subway, and I think you ought to probably get on the stick and start looking at that. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to reach any kind of ridership goals that you really should be looking at.
Bingo, she's right, you know.
Thank you.
Get busy on a subway.
Okay. And I point out there's a lot of people talking about a subway at this time. I haven't heard people speak of.
Well, as we know, see, he was able to really articulate the problem. I've known for a long time that the problem is lack of capacity, okay? Trimet ridership is flat because not only do people don't want to ride the buses, but the capacity is full. It's full already, and there's no way to add more capacity, especially on the light rail, like he just said. But to his point, that should be under the ground. Of course, that would be smart, and that would be the way to get riders, but that doesn't help the business community, and that's what it's all about. It's about helping the business community, and that was the intention with MEX. You're going to go like a snail through there, and hopefully people will stop and do some shopping or whatever. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't care right now. And as far as adding the Southwest Corridor, we all know that is basically a capital projects. You know, they're pushing that because that's their job. I mean, capital projects runs Trimet, and if they don't have these sorts of capital projects, they can't keep going. And the easiest one to get money for, I guess, oh, here's Sleepy Bethel. The easiest one to get money for is the Tiger. I don't know if they'll succeed or not. I'm sure they'll put up a pretty little package, and maybe they'll be able to fool the voters. Who knows? But Jim Howell's testimony was really brilliantly put. He called it exactly right. He's always excellent. I don't know why. Why isn't he on one of these boards? Why isn't Jim Howell on that board, on the Trimet board? That's the kind of guy they need on there.